Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, folks, and welcome back. Welcome back, Jeff.
Yeah, I am back.
Yeah, I'm so glad because you run the show perfectly. So thank you. Although you are a little under the wind, so I have to say Happy Veterans Day and Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans in the live stream, everyone all over the country for sure.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And just another quick announcement. A lot of folks out there did know him, possibly had never met him in person, but they've known him through the Blue Spade Society and from being, good friends with me and the Mumbles Man. Our good friend John David, I think it was on October 28th or the 29th, he passed. He had been in the hospital and they put him in hospice, and he ended up passing. So he's metal detecting in heaven now. So I would like to have just a brief moment of silence where we can, everybody, if you so inclined, along with me and with Phil and with the Mumbles Man, we'll send up a little prayer for John David, Mr. Plays in the Dirt. So let's do that right now, if you would, please. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. Phil, better do our...
Oh, yes, for sure. Get started here. We got a good guest tonight. We're going to talk about metal detecting clubs, and we're going to just do what we always do. So, as always, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And, of course, views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here by the Treasure Talk guest and member belong solely to the guest and member, not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin. And, of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of treasure hunting and metal detecting and treasure hunting in all forms, and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner.
We're going to try our best.
Absolutely. We do it every week.
Yep, and this ought to be good. We've done a couple of them already about metal detecting clubs, which I think are the backbone of the hobby.
Yes, for sure.
I know you do as well.
I do.
You and Big Poppy are very involved with the WSAS club, and our guest tonight is very involved with his club. It's a very well-run club, and they do a lot of really good stuff. And we've got another club coming on later in the month, right before Thanksgiving. That's a fairly new startup club, but it's doing great things. It's got great leadership and a lot of fantastic members. So I think it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So we done all the housekeeping.
Yes, we have.
Okay. What else have you got? Any new stuff in the shop you want to talk about?
I can talk about, let's see, Naka products. They have all specials now for Christmas. They're including the pinpointers and a bunch of different stuff. I don't know if I have them on my site yet, but I do have the one behind me, the Mind Lab product, the Manticores on special for $11.99. Now that's just with one coil. I do have the 3 coil special below it, $16.99. And if you Big Poppy's here, or if I'm here, you'll get a special price, a little cheaper than that too, but we can't advertise it.
Yeah, Big Poppy's there, you're liable to get a Zuz each.
Yes, and might get a little artwork on it for sure. And so we've got all the specials right now. That Mind Lab special, $11.99, is an awesome deal on that if you're just wanting the single coil, excellent detector. So give us a ring and we'll get you Yeah, and it looks like, yes, Sam Trusley had a question. Hey, Phil, do you have crevicing tools by chance? And unfortunately, that's something I don't have. So uh, I guess the gold prospecting people are going to have that, Sam. I just don't have anything like that. So that's a one I don't have in the store.
Well, she knew what Sam needs to do. She needs to get up to Casey from Excalibur and see if he can make her a crevassing pickaxe tool.
Yeah, some type of tool to do that for sure.
Yeah,
With gold prospecting, you need some specialty type tools sometimes.
that's right. And they're doing a lot of it, and they're very successful at it. So
Yes.
that's a great thing.
And of course, we do have our new calendars in. So if you place any order, and probably next week or so, I may be mailing some of those out to some folks.
And everything packed. I don't better show it, Phil. The coveted one.
The coveted towel,
Yeah,
and I might
mine's packed.
have to run to the back.
Everybody probably doesn't know, but I sold my house. I'm in the mood of packing it in the midst of get everything packed. I'll be moving on the 19th. So I may be out a couple more weeks after that. Where I'm moving to, I've got to get the internet scheduled to be put in, and I don't know how long that's going to take. But Big Poppy and Phil, do great job. Y'all hadn't missed me a bit, which is good. So everything will be cool.
Yes. Boy, I think Big Poppy moved these, and that's the coveted towel. Put that on your belt. Woo!
That'll be included in the giveaway tonight.
Yes, for sure. So
Okay, we better get.
Yeah, we better
get going here.
Yes.
We got a lot of info.
Yes, for sure.
So for tonight, we have a special guest from the Suncoast Recovery Club, and I think that's in Clearwater, is it not, Philip?
Yes, it's. I think they call that Largo, but we can ask Howard for sure. But,
Okay. And our special guest, you've seen him before. He is the cruiser. He's a metal detecting cruiser. He knows all about that. He runs this club, does a great job. So let's bring him on, Howard Metz. Hi, Howard.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You are welcome.
So we're glad you're on here, and today we're talking clubs. So why don't you tell us how long Suncoast Research and Recovery Club has been around?
Sure. Well, the club started back in 1989, and I believe Wally Schwartz, who was an ex-Marine, started the club. I could be wrong there. It may have been a couple other gentlemen with him, but I know Wally was one of the first presidents of our club. I joined back in, I want to say 1990, I believe it was, or 1991. And my first machine I purchased was a White's 6000 Di-Pro. And that's when I started. But Wally was the president back then.
Oh, okay, cool. So are you now the president, or are you the VP?
I am now, have been a president now for, good Lord, let's see here. I'm going to say 3 or 4 years. I can't remember. And maybe my wife's saying 5, and vice president before that. So.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well,
and
I know
the club meets in Clearwater. I guess we can call it. It's kind of the border of Largo, Clearwater. And we do meet the 4th Monday of every month, except December, at the Quaker Steak and Lube restaurant on 49th Street. Our meetings take place at 7 o'clock is when they start. We all generally get there between 5:30 and 6, get something to eat. Meeting starts at 7, and I have a guest speaker each month that generally starts about 7:20, and the guest speaker is there for about 40 minutes.
So people out there, not to interrupt Phil, but everybody out there, if you've got a question about a metal detecting club, any kind of question at all, if y'all are thinking about trying to start a club or any questions about how to run a club or anything, just pop them in the chat and we'll get them up on the screen, asked and answered. If Howard doesn't know, Phil will know. So let's get them asked and answered. Just get some questions.
Yeah, for sure. I know I like your meeting location because I like that you could get a meal there too. Because I'm
Yeah, we
always
have a private room, which makes it kind of nice, and it gives us plenty of room to set up our competition table that we have each month at our meeting.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm always down for a meal, so it's nice. I've spoken there before, and it's a good group of people, and I'm a member of that. And I'm going to be going to the end of the year banquet, which is always nice. Tell them about that. That's a nice event.
Sure.
Sure.
In December is the only month we don't have a meeting. And instead of having a meeting, we basically have a competition table every month at our meetings, and whoever gets the most points based on what they enter and what categories they win in, they get a nice gift from us for banquet, which is our Christmas banquet, which is going to be held this year at Isla del Sol in St. Pete at the Yacht Club. And we have a really nice banquet for the people with a prime rib, a seafood dish, a pasta, and all the trimmings and salads and so forth, and dessert. We represent our competition table winners, first, second, and third place with a nice prize.
Oh yeah, it's real nice, and they have some nice raffles there. And I think 2 years in a row, I might not have found a gold coin, but I won a gold coin. Or actually, I should say Jocelyn won the
Yep,
gold coin.
Johnson got that one. And I think Janine won one last year. My wife won one last year also.
So
This
they're
year we have 6 gold coins on a table, and we're going to have some more silver and some more gift cards and some other surprises on the table this year for a raffle at our banquet.
yeah. So that if you're a member of a club, this one is a nice one. If you're in this area, you got to check them out for sure. I always have a good time over there, and it's nice. So let's talk about the hunts you guys do. You
Sure.
do
I'll go over the membership dues and I'll talk about the hunts. Right now, our members pay for a single person, it's $35. And for a husband and wife, it's $60, and that's the whole year. And we do have 2 barbecues a year. But one's in the spring and one's in the fall, and that's held at Fort Soda Park. And then we also have a seated hunt where we have all kinds of coins and we have some tokens that are buried. And we do charge $10 for the hunt, but everybody finds at least $10 in coins. And the tokens are worth nice prizes, or in some cases, money up to a $20 bill. So it's a real fun hunt and plenty of food to eat.
Yeah, and that hunt at Fort DeSoto, that's a relic hunt because I know a lot of the guys. Unfortunately, it's on Saturday, so I can't go to it. But I know a lot of the guys from the Tampa club who are members of that club too always enjoy that because you find stuff, some relics. But Phil is there from the. I guess does he work there, Phil?
Yep, Phil was the local historian, and we get permission from the state and the park to do that special hunt. And we hunt areas where you can't hunt unless you're with Phil, and we have that special permission. And what happens, anything we find, the historian, Phil, looks it over. And if he deems it's something that the local museum there needs, then he takes it for that. But typically, coins, we find some silver coins, some Indian head pennies and so forth. He generally lets us keep those. But we find a lot of old buttons, military buttons. We found some nice silver spoons. I mean, you just never know what you're going to find. That fort was there for quite some time.
So we got a question here for you, Howard, from Rick Tumbleston. He says, what are the annual dues for your club?
Okay. For a single member, it's $35 for the year. And for a couple, it's $60 for the year.
That's pretty cheap.
It's very inexpensive.
And the from Tom Becker, he's asking how many members are in the club.
Right now, I want to say we probably have approximately 80 paid members in the club.
Okay, and that fluctuates too. I guess the number of people coming there by the time of the year, isn't there more?
It does. We have a lot of snowbirds that come down. They're here for maybe 6 months out of the year. Then we have a lot of locals also.
Yeah, so I noticed that even with our club, we get some snowbirds that come down January to spend the winter months with us. But the seated hunt, or not the seated, the one that you do at Fort Minnesota. Now, for the folks who don't know, that fort was established when in 1898 or
During the Spanish, the Spanish War there.
Spanish
There was never a battle from that fort. They did shoot the cannons a few times, and I understand, I think they had a problem when they first shot those cannons behind the walls. The poor guys that were there, I guess the blast from the cannon actually killed a few guys. So they had to make some changes, and they had it so they were shot remotely from inside a bunker, we'll say, as opposed to shooting right from the cannon.
Right.
And some of the big mortars they had.
Yeah. And the guys who do that relic hunt, they have found quite a few artifacts and buttons and different stuff that the museum does. Now, is it on display in the museum yet, or is it?
It is. Oh, yes. The museum does have a display in there. We actually donated some items. I think a special blanket was made, a replica of the blankets that the soldiers used. And they have a plaque with all kinds of finds from our club. And you can see that in the museum now.
Okay.
Now, of course, the museum is closed because the whole park's closed because of the hurricanes we had. So it should open. We're looking at probably January sometime is what they're speculating for the reopening of the park.
Cool. We got a question from the Prospecting Mule. Is your club registered with the state as a nonprofit?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah. Now the Fort DeSoto is closed. Did they say they're open in January or?
They're hoping to open by January. Both Fort DeSoto and also Honeymoon Island State Park is also closed until that time. A lot of damage to the electrical. I know in Fort DeSoto there's a campground, and the whole electrical area, the system has to be redone in there. It just got wiped out when the water came and just flooded everything. A lot of trees are down also.
Yeah, someone told me, I don't know if this is true or not, but they said some of the roads were washed out too. So I could see that taking a while to get all that redone. And the Metal Detecting Club, who we had on last week, their hunt was scheduled in December for the end of the year picnic. And that's not going to happen in December. That's going to get rescheduled for sure.
Yep, and our hunt was scheduled this past month, unfortunately, and got rescheduled for the same reason.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen if they're closed for sure. And it looks like Rob Payne said, I found the club when I moved to Dunedin from Cincinnati area. And he says, great people. Yes, there are great people there for sure.
Yep, Rob is now one of our members. In fact, him and his wife are now one of the cruisers to go with us on our metal detecting hunts.
Oh, awesome! So
and
you
we
meet
have
a lot. Yeah,
one comes up this May in May of 2025.
Yeah, you meet a lot of nice people at the club, and you learn a lot of stuff for sure. So, talk to us about some of the speakers you've had.
Well, of course, we have the best metal detecting selling gentleman in the whole world. That would be Phil Myers.
There you go.
He's there at least once a year. We have actually quite a few. Phil, the historian from Fort DeSoto, does some talks. I do some talks myself, just talking about metal detecting in general and how to detect on a cruise. And also the rules when cruising, that changes from time to time. And Captain Carl Fismer, who we lost this year, unfortunately, he passed away, was a fantastic speaker.
Yes.
So he's really going to be missed.
One of our favorites. Yeah, we missed him there.
Him and his wife were just fantastic. But we also have people talk about coins. We have a gentleman and his wife. They're pirate historians that come in, and they're very, very cool. He's written some books. In fact, he is a ex-Marine also, just so you know, Jeff.
So I'm gonna add a Marine Corps button there. How's that?
There we are. Nice.
That's right. And yeah, that was dug in Tampa at Fort Brooke, and that's one piece of the 1830s, and it just cleaned up real nice. So I'm real proud of that one for sure.
That is beautiful.
Had to remove that real quick. But yeah, so um, how long have you been a member of the club?
Let's see, I purchased my first metal detector, I believe, in 1990. And I want to say probably in 1993 or 4 is when I started in the club.
Yeah. Did you go to the Federation hunt? And I don't know what year that was. That was at Sankey, the Federation
I
Detector.
I don't believe I was at that one. No, unfortunately.
Okay. I can't remember what year that was, but the Federation of Metal Detector Clubs had a hunt on Sankey. And of course, I think the fee to do it was a seated hunt was like, I think it was $50. And it was an awesome hunt, but there was a hurricane out in the Gulf, like, 100 miles out or so. And it just was a brutal hunt because the wind was like 60 knots and sand and salt. And the
Wow.
hunt, the hunt field was under about a half a foot of water when it was, when it was going on. I had stayed at the Sankey Sheridan. Otherwise, I would have had hypothermia because it was, it was just brutal. It
Wow.
looks like we got another question up there.
Yeah, from Tom Becker. He says, "Do you have raffles at each meeting? And if so, what kind? Thank you."
Okay. Yep, we sure do. We were doing half dollars, 90% half dollars. And now, because of the price of silver, we're probably going to change to 90% quarters, which are now, I think they melt at almost $6 a piece. The half dollars for $11 and change, I think right now is what the club's cost. And we also do a $25 Publix gift card as a grand prize. And a few members have donated some items. We've had metal detectors that we do an auction for. We've had metal detecting equipment, clothing. I've got a couple unusual things coming up that were donated to the club. Of all things, I have a uh, what is it? A painting of ducks in flight or landing, I guess. Painting that somebody gave me, and also a stuffed wood duck. We're going to have at the next meeting, and we'll raffle it off, and we'll see what we get for it. You never know. But yes, every month we have a raffle, and always have the coins, and always have the gift card, and then we have some surprises on top of it.
Yeah, it's just ways to raise money, fundraisers, so you can pay for the seated hunts, for the silver, because all that stuff is so expensive now. Now, you guys do have a ring finders group too, right?
We sure do. In fact, we've been doing that for quite some time. We pay to become a member of the Ring Finders, and you pay for certain areas. And I think we are now, as I recall, I want to say it's either 5 or 6 areas we pay for. So it does cost a pretty good, pretty good amount of money. And when somebody calls us, myself or Joe, the vice president, takes the call initially, and we ask questions to make sure that they truly did lose the item. And sometimes they will fess up and say, "Well, gee, I was drunk and really don't know where I lost it." And we do, at that time, I'll put a email and um, I think here, send out a message on the phone to all my guys. We have like 20 of us in our group, and we have a core group of probably of a dozen people that actually do most of the hunting. And we look for, if they want to give us a donation, that's very much appreciated, but we don't force them to pay anything. That
Right.
was a reason to get into us. A lot of people, they find the ring or whatever it is, and they get it appraised and say, okay, you have to pay me, 20% of the appraised value to get it back. And to us, that was like stealing. So we just do it out of kindness to help out. And if they give us a donation to the club, that helps the club.
Absolutely. That's how it should be. When you have a club, a group of volunteers, yeah, you just go out and accept the donation if they give it to you. If not, that's life. That's just the way it is. But the
Well,
club get
we
a bunch.
enjoy doing it too. So I mean, it's it really puts a smile on our face when we find something they think's lost forever. And I think I just told you about the house in Clearwater Beach that burned down to the ground during the first hurricane. And a gentleman and his family lost everything. So me and 2 guys went out there for 5.5 hours, and we did find the gold religious medallion was one of the items they wanted. And we found a lot of silver coins. We found a lot of artifacts from World War I, World War II, from his grandfather and uncle and his father. So there, he was very appreciative. And we're going to go back again. We're still looking for a gold watch and his wife's engagement ring and wedding band. We did find 2 other rings, but not the ones they really wanted.
Now, was it like in a bunch of iron from wood and nails and that kind of thing? Is that what you're?
Well, the house was wood frame, so there was a lot of nails and a lot of ash. It was all wet. So what we did is we took a cornhole. They had 2 cornhole items there. You know, cornholes, that game, you toss the beanbag in. We turned one of those upside down, and we shoveled dirt, the ash basically, on top of it. Then we took one of the coils, and we put our hands in the ash and just kind of ran our hands through it, then pulled the nails out. And then, you know, once in a while you'd find a coin or a ring or a medal for World War One. So it took us 5.5 hours, but we found quite a bit of things for him. A lot of medals, and we found probably, good Lord, I bet we found a few pounds of coins. One coin I thought was a silver dollar turned out to be a World War One silver commemorative coin of some sort, size of a silver dollar.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I imagine the family was very appreciative because you.
Oh, sure. And we told him there. He said, "Hey, we do not want, you know, a donation. You guys lost everything. We're here to help you out," and that's what we did.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
we've done 2 trips so far. We're looking to do one more, give it one more shot before they bulldoze the place and rebuild it.
And how was the? Did that one catch on fire from electrical problem, or was it? Because I
It
know one.
wasn't a vehicle to my knowledge. It wasn't an electrical fire of some sort. It was a wood frame house, so it burned right to the ground. There was absolutely nothing in the, you know, there's nothing else there. I mean, it was all wood, built in the 50s.
Yes, so it was just a pile of ash, really. Left.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I saw on the news that another a car had started a fire. One of the Teslas, I guess, with the batteries, the salt water hit it and burnt the whole house down.
Oh, yes.
So,
see if I can find a picture of that house here. I can give you an idea. I don't know if it'll show on the screen or not.
Oh, it should.
Let's see here. I don't know if that shows. Let's see here. Maybe it's not going to show, Phil.
Okay.
Let's see here. No, I guess it's not going to show up on my camera here. Or will it?
Raise it up a little bit.
No,
I don't know. I don't know how well successful that's going to be, Howard.
yeah, it's not looking real good. But anyway, there's nothing but ash, and the washer and dryer. It was a stackable washer and dryer. They're still standing. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Well, the gold watch, you know, if it was like in a drawer or something, the fire could have been hot enough to just melt it.
Well, it has to be over 1900 degrees to melt gold, and it would have to be that way for a while. But I did find a gold signet ring, and I did find a silver ring, and that 14-karat medallion, so they weren't melted. But they were in a briefcase. We found the hinges and the combination of the briefcase. The briefcase was gone, of course.
Yeah. So were the rings, were they melted or
No, they weren't melted. They were blackened, but they weren't melted. And even the 14-karat gold pendant, I mean, it was still nice. You could shine it up real nice. Looked real good.
Well, that's cool. That's giving back to the metal detecting or the community from a metal detecting club. So that's just awesome that you guys did that, for sure.
Yep. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Well, your club is kind of renowned for the good deeds that it does, Howard.
Well, what comes around goes around. So.
Well, that's a good thing. That's there are things to be known for, and there are things not to be known for, and that's one of the good things for your club to be known for.
Absolutely, and you can see behind me, we've been on the news, quite a bit, helping people find their lost items, and a lot of people are so amazed that we would do this for them that they call news channels and they do news stories about us. And our clubs received a couple Good Samaritan awards from the Clearwater Police Department.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like we've got Angie Sherwin from England, because Treasure Talk goes all over the world. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. But yeah, whenever you give back and all the stuff you guys do, it makes our hobby better.
It sure does.
And I always tell folks, if I can make a man cry when he gets something back, then I've done my job right. You know,
Absolutely.
when you say, well, man,
That wasn't because you were stepping on his toe either, was it?
oh, yes, when you put your lost item in their hand, they start crying like a baby. You know you've done something. So it's just nice to give back for sure. And it does, I see on here, it does come, the good karma does come around for sure. And
It definitely does.
And Phil did not miss the sarcasm while I was gone. I can tell you that.
it just goes right over my head, Jeff, for sure. Yeah, they don't want me to step on their toes for sure. I'm too big for that. But looks like we got another question here from Sam Truckley. So what do you swing mainly? I do not know if I missed that question. No, I don't think we asked that one, did we?
No, not yet.
Okay. For myself, I've got 7 different detectors. My wife and I were scuba divers, so a lot of times we'll get a call from people that lose a ring, gold rings, usually wedding rings, under a dock, under a boat dock. And we've had, let's see, I think 3 or 4 calls under boat docks, and most of the time you can't even see your hand in front of your face, and they're usually about 8 to 10 foot of water. And we were successful finding all the rings. I believe again it was 4 different ones, and we used that Nocta pulse dive. Pulse dive is great because I can put my hand in the coil, right through the coil, to grab the target, and it vibrates and makes noise you can hear under the water, even though you can't see anything. So that's been a great machine to use underwater for us. But when I detect on a cruise, I like to bring my Nocta Legend because it's compact and it folds down to about 25 inches. And I can put that, and I've got a scoop, it's aluminum 6-inch scoop that Phil sold me that breaks down in half. And I can put that, my detector, and all my gear in a duffel bag, and it goes on wheels, and it goes on all my cruises, and it works fantastic.
Yeah,
And
so
besides that, I have an Excalibur I like to use on the beach here. It's got a big Nels coil on it right now. And we got a few other machines. I've got a Knox, what is it, Knox 700? I'm sorry, Knox 600, excuse me, is what I have. And a couple other smaller detectors.
well, cool. Yeah, so you're still using your Excalibur out at the beach?
Oh yeah, I love the Excalibur. It's got the big coil on it now. I'm getting a little bit older, so I was kind of starting to wonder if I should have left a smaller coil on, but we'll see. A couple of years down the road, I'll probably change it out. But it works
Yeah,
great. You can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, it will cover a lot of ground. Go extremely deep with that. So what Nell coil did you get?
It's the Nell Tornado coil.
Tornado, yeah, a little bit bigger. That's a good combination for the Excalibur too, for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, he needs to get that. He needs to get Trevor's 15.
Not in the water. No, no.
Or the 18. They've got
Yeah, I
an
did.
18. Yeah,
I
they
did
got
get
an
that
18 now.
Stork extension for my Legend. I have not tried that yet. That's going to cut the water a lot easier. But right now,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the Legend, the way that's set up. I've had no issues. And the last cruise, I found 3 gold rings and 3 silver rings with it, plus all kinds of other stuff. So it's paid for itself more than probably 3 times, I'll say right now.
Yeah, and it's just a nice setup. The Naka Legend and the Stork leg. The people I've sold them to, they just love it for sure because it just helps go slide through the water easier. Yeah. All righty. So, are we doing a giveaway tonight, Jeff? We're going to do
Yes,
that.
we are. Yes, we are. I'm going to go ahead and
Set
pop
it
this.
up.
We're going to do a wonderful swag pack,
Like that.
and it will be put together on Saturday by
Big
Big
Pop.
Poppy. There'll probably be some artwork and a zazich. There will definitely be a calendar, which you do need. That is another coveted item. There will be at least a coveted towel, the Myers metal detecting towel, which is coveted worldwide and renowned worldwide, as well as a Myers t-shirt and whatever Big Poppy can stuff in the bag.
Yes, for sure.
And he is known to be a stuffer.
Yeah, I'm going to post that, Joss. Yeah, Dave Taylor says it's the coveted rag.
It is coveted. That is for sure. Now, everyone get ready, because this is what you put in the chat to be entered into the drawing. Just as I have it, please.
Hashtag swaggeroo, just like that.
That's right, just like that.
Yeah.
So now that I'm back, I'm telling you to put it in just like that, please. Thank you.
There you go.
And we will get you some swaggeroo.
And it
So
looks
I'll
like
leave that up there for just a minute here while everybody starts popping it in there.
yeah,
I think everybody's
figured it out. Yes.
figured it out. So we're getting a whole bunch of people entering, which is good.
So,
And
Howard, when is your next meeting for the club?
Next meeting, let me take a look here. It's going to be the fourth Monday of this month. And
So,
let me get the
that would be
date
the
for it.
25th then.
I believe that is correct. Yes.
And that's a Quaker Steak and Lube.
Quaker Steak and Lube on 49th Street in Clearwater. And again, we get there between 5:30 and 6, get something to eat. The meeting starts at 7, and the guest speaker usually starts around 7:20. And we usually end the meeting with a raffle at around 9 o'clock.
who's your guest speaker this meeting, Howard?
We have a couple possibilities. So it's going to be to be announced, and I put it out on our newsletter, so all the members will know. But unfortunately, I can't tell you at this moment.
Okie dokie.
Perfect. And it looks like we got a question here from Tom Becker. Howard, what is the deepest you've detected underwater? That's a good question.
Okay. Typically under docks, we're trying to find somebody's lost ring under a dock, and I would say maybe 10 or 12 feet.
Now, you're
The machines will go deeper, but to find lost items, it has to be somewhere where people lose things, and we're usually looking under boat docks, and it's typically people that call us.
Yeah, are you using the tanks or are you using that Nemo?
No, I've been using the Blue Nemo, and I also have a Cougar. I mean, we have tanks if we had to, but the water wasn't deep enough, and to bring in all the equipment and go through all that, it's just much easier using the Blue Nemo usually, which we also purchased from Phil Myers.
Woo!
That's
Yes.
that great.
Yes, and I the Blue Nemo is for 10 feet of detectant, and I still have, I think, another 1 or 2 of those left. So if somebody wants one of those, and I think they've come out with ones that go deeper, and I probably won't be selling those in the shop here because I feel like if you're going to go deeper than 10 feet, you better get dive certified myself. What do you think of that?
As certified divers, definitely. The other one, I believe, goes down to 30 feet. And if you're down 30 feet and you come up wrong, that could be a problem for you.
Yeah, if you don't know what
mention, what happens when you run out of air. Some people panic, and you don't want that without having the proper training what to do.
Right. Absolutely. So if you want a Blue Nemo, I still have, like I said, I think it's 2 left. But after that, that'll probably be it, unless they still keep making the Nemos. I don't know if they are or not, or if they've gone to just the Nomad Mini. So.
No, it's a great machine, and for treasure hunting, I think that one's the best one to have. Going down 10 feet is plenty deep enough.
Yeah, because like on our beaches, if you want to hunt in 7 or 8 feet of water, it's perfect for that. If you have a problem, then you can pop your dive belt and go up and not be in real deep water for sure.
That's right.
Yeah. So we covered. Now, if the people join, if they went to the November meeting, they could still do the December banquet, right? If they were to join.
Well, if they were to join the club for this year, they could. They'd have to pay their dues for 2024. And right now, we're also doing the dues for next year.
Right.
But yes, there is time if somebody wanted to come, and if they want to come to the banquet, as yes, they could. Typically, the club pays half the banquet's fees. The banquet is $70 is what it costs the club, and we charge our members $35. So you can see how much of our dues get used for our members, because you figure just if you go to the banquet alone, the club's paying for your $35 fee, and that's the $35 you pay for the year. That doesn't include what we pay for two barbecues we do.
Yeah, and that banquet is worth it. It's perfect, and it's just a nice event for sure. It looks like Rob Payne says Myers is the best shop around. Well, of course.
That's right.
Of course, we're the best. Absolutely. Well,
Best
anyway,
prices and best advice, right?
yes, for sure.
Well, how many, Howard? How many officers in the club?
We have 4 officers: myself, the VP, secretary, and treasurer, and we also have board members.
And do you have a hard time filling those slots?
For president, I will say yes, but we have somebody else I think it's going to step up this year. And I think right now we have some newer members that really want to get involved, and that's what we stressed this year is involvement in the club. And we have a lot of new members that really want to do some things. So this year we have a lot of new board members becoming on board, as well as I think possibly a new president.
And on an advice type of note, Howard, what would you advise maybe newer clubs or people that want to possibly start a club to go about membership drives? Do you guys do those? And if so, how do you go about them?
Well, social media, I think, is the way to go. For us, we're on Facebook. Anytime we have a ring find, it's all over Facebook. And I think everybody knows us from our ring finders group. If you go to Clearwater Beach and you lose an item, if you go to the lifeguard stand, first thing it's going to do is say, hey, call SRARC, and they'll help you out. They all know us. The police down there know us also because we've helped them out quite a few times. In fact, I think it was 2 years ago, myself and another guy went down there to help a police officer find his lost badge after having a scuffle in the sand, and I was the lucky one to find it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's a real cool story. Yeah, you're once again giving back.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
But social media, I think, is the way to go to promote your club. Word of mouth, of course, helps out. And you're going to start small. I was up in Wisconsin recently, and I met with a club up there. And I was thinking, okay, we're meeting at a restaurant like we do. My wife and I and a friend sat down, and we had, I think, 6 members total for the club. And that's how our club started many, many years ago. We would meet in a restaurant, kind of pull your stuff out of your pocket, your special finds, and pass them around to show the other members. And eventually, other people talk and they get interested in our hobby, and it just grows from there. And I really think metal detecting and treasure hunting has really become a big thing now. People realize it's great exercise, especially for people our age, right, guys?
Absolutely.
And you never know what you're going to find out there. I mean, you always come across people when I'm out in Clearwater Beach. Somebody comes up and says, hey, I just lost my wedding ring. Where'd you lose it? Right here. And usually if they know where it is, you'll have it within 2 minutes. And they're just amazed. They really are.
Yeah, it's nice. It helps them out for sure. I was going to say, our club, I think we have roughly over here in Tampa, we have 62 members. You guys are closer to the beaches, so I imagine you have a lot more beach hunters over at SRARC. But it just starts and it multiplies, just inviting people to the clubs. Now, do you have a Facebook group?
We do have a Facebook site, yes. If you go to SRARC on Facebook, you'll find us. Okay. And we post a lot of our ring hunts, and finds you'll see on there.
Okay, awesome.
And people can make comments, and sometimes people will contact us on that website about a lost item.
Yeah, I see that a lot now. A lot of different groups are starting and putting stuff on Facebook to find stuff for people. But if I get calls on the beach, I'm always giving them your number or the Tampa club if it's on this side. I do that a lot. So hopefully they call you guys for sure.
They sure do, and I appreciate it.
Now, Phil, did you know about this? Well, it went away.
Ricky T.
Yeah.
We have one of the club members find a Secret Service badge in Tampa. The officer had lost it 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was, but that's kind of crazy that they lost it for 10 years. But it happens. People find stuff for sure, and people lose everything imaginable.
It
So
does. So why don't we give something away
yeah,
here?
yeah, do the swag pack for sure.
Okay, let's get that on. Let's go here and let's go this and see who's going to win the swag pack. Mark Watrous. Okay, Mark, congratulations, my friend. I'm going to pop up the where you, let's see, there we go. You send your name, address, and phone number, and be sure to include your t-shirt size.
Yes.
And you cannot be a vegetarian and win a swaggeroo pack because there'd probably be a little zazich involved. So there's that. But name, address, phone number, t-shirt size to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. We'll get it down to Big Poppy, and Big Poppy will pack it up and load it up, and it will be good. So
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Congratulate you, Mark, and we'll look for that email. We'll get it all taken care of.
So Howard, let's talk about some of your nice finds.
Okay, let's see here. Probably a couple of my best finds. One was during a ring hunt, and this was out by Anclote Key by the Stilt House out there. A lady lost a 3-carat diamond ring. Her husband and her were out in a boat. They put the rings, his ring and her ring, in a koozie. They were drinking beer. I guess they took the cans out of the koozie, and the husband took the koozie and just kind of dumped the beer that was inside in the water. They started driving the boat away, and the wife said, "Wait a minute, where's my ring?" So we got a call from the jeweler who made the ring. The ring was probably on her finger for maybe 2 weeks. It was custom made, and their son took us out. So we hunted, myself and 3 other guys, for 3.5 hours, didn't find it. And I finally said, "Hey, it's not here. Let's move over that way." So we moved over about 100 feet, and I was the 4th one in line. And the first line we made, I found the ring. So we almost did not find that, and they were very happy.
How deep was the water?
Probably waist deep at the most.
Okay.
So very, very shallow at the time. We found a lot of trash, a lot of coins and things, but nothing other than that. And my best personal find is a 1986 men's Rolex President, 18-karat gold, and that was underground. They were guessed probably for 10 years. It wasn't working, had water in it, but the gold was like brand new because 18-karat gold is pretty soft. So, and I took it to 3 different places, jewelers, because there's a serial number on it, and it was not registered, which was amazing. So that was my best personal find.
It was 18-karat gold. What type of watch?
Rolex, men's. Rolex. That's a Rolex President, 1986 Rolex President.
Were you able to get it fixed, or?
I could have for $1,000. I found this back in 2009. The guy said, "Hey, for $1,000, I'll fix it for you." And I said, "I don't want this in my wrist. That's a lot of money." So I got $4,000 cash at the time. I bought my Excalibur with it, a scoop, and my wife and I went on vacation for a week on the other coast.
Oh, that's nice. But if you would have held on to it, I think gold today.
Oh, yes. I would have held on to it or got it fixed. Yep. But without paperwork, though, you can't really, it's hard to sell something without paperwork. So this gentleman he's a repair shop, and I guess he repaired it. He made money, and he sold it to a jeweler who had a buyer for it. That's what I heard. So it worked out.
Yeah.
Howard, I have a question.
Sure.
And I think this is for you too, Phil. For new clubs coming along, or maybe existing clubs looking to revamp or whatever, do you guys have a list of club bylaws that everybody abides by? Or
we do. Absolutely.
What kind of bylaws do you have?
Well, I guess, the biggest thing in metal detecting, and I think all clubs do this, if you dig it, you haul it out. If it's trash, it goes in your pouch and you make sure you take it out. If you're digging a hole, the hole gets filled in. You want to leave it, especially if it's somebody's lawn or a park. You need to make it look like no one was there, that there was never a hole dug. Otherwise, it's going to end our hobby that we have. So that's probably our biggest sin I see is when people dig holes and don't cover their holes properly, or when they, get a trash item and they pick it up and they just kick it and don't pick it up. I mean, I'll take on Honeymoon Island, I'll take a plastic bag sometimes. Sometimes there's so much trash as far as cans that get buried. And instead of putting in my pouch, a couple cans fill up the pouch real quick, I'll carry a plastic bag and fill it up. And when the rangers see it, they love it. So all the rangers now know me down there. And I have no issues hunting that park, on the beach. I mean, obviously, you're not supposed to hunt in the park itself. And we do have some rules as far as, for the competition, our competition table. And I think what else we have besides that as far as bylaws. Nothing else that comes to mind. What were you thinking as far as, Jeff, as far as bylaws? What kind of items?
I was just wondering for, different clubs out there or people starting clubs, and, they're always looking for ideas and tips. When you're brainstorming, trying to get something started, you want to make sure that, you do it as good as you can. So that's why I ask the questions. People can learn, they may not necessarily adapt everything that is said, but they get a good idea on what they can and cannot do and what is successful and not successful.
Another thing
of yours, Phil.
Sure. Another thing we bring up to meetings too, if you're out on the beach hunting and somebody approaches you and asks questions, you obviously want to engage with them and talk about their hobby. And if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I just lost something," the first thing out of your mouth is not going to be, "Okay, I want a reward." Otherwise, I'm not going to look for it. All our guys and girls know that somebody lost something, our job is to help them find it. Then we can tell them who we are and, hey, would you like to join a metal detecting club? And because a lot of people get really excited to see what we do with our machines. They have no idea. They just think we're these old guys and girls that are out there, slinging sand around and have no idea how much stuff we find out there. Yes, we do pick up trash, but we find some really valuable items for people and we do return them.
Yeah, I was going to mention the metal detectorist code of ethics. And I think all that's pretty much covered. Most clubs abide by those rules, which is, I don't remember them all, but most clubs, we used to print them on the back of the business card for the club.
Yep, it's actually on our newsletters. And I can't believe I can't remember what it is since I do the newsletter. Every one of our newsletters has that.
Yes. Yeah, because it's good rules to go by.
Sure,
and respect other people's property. It's just there's so many in there that are good. Now, Howard, did you have any? Well, I know your club didn't have any trouble, but a lot of clubs did fold because of the COVID virus. But you guys were smart because you started meeting out in a park.
Yep, we had it outside in a park, and it worked out fantastic.
It did.
And our snowbirds, didn't come down, of course. They couldn't fly or whatever. But we still held our meetings, and it worked out quite well.
Yeah, that was a good thing because we had a problem with our club because they didn't want it. We met at a Hillsborough County rec center, the club over here in Tampa, and of course, they were all shut down immediately, the rec centers. So we had a couple meetings in a park, and then we moved it to an American Legion hall, and just social distance stayed far apart from people, and we managed to make it through it. So I'm glad that Suncoast Research and Recovery Club and the Tampa Club made it through it. But I think most Florida clubs survived the pandemic. I think just from using good guidelines, and we made it through it. So it's a good thing for that anyway.
Yep, I agree. Worked out real well for us.
Yeah, because it's just we had to be cautious because you get a bunch of retired folks, and that's who would suffer the most from COVID. So it was just good social distancing and doing the right things when we made it through it, for sure.
Yes, we did.
Well, that was smart to do that during COVID because I'm certain that the membership were really looking forward to getting out and being with their friends at that time too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I couldn't believe that the government, some of them wouldn't let you go in a public park. You know, you had to be careful of that. I just didn't understand that when everybody's sitting far apart and doing all that. That worked out fine for our clubs in this area anyway.
It sure did.
That is good. That is good.
Yeah,
what
I see other people posted on there the code of ethics, the metal detector code of ethics. That is a good thing for every club to follow. And there was a federation of metal detector clubs. I don't know if they're still around, but I imagine you could Google that, and I'm sure they would have some good rules for new clubs starting up. That would work for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think if you're going to have a club and you have to run it orderly, you have to have bylaws and codes of ethics and, certain standards. Otherwise, it's just going to be a big mishmash and nobody really learns anything or really has that much fun. So that's why the questions about code of ethics and rules and meeting stuff like that. That's why I wanted to have this series talking about the various clubs because it's, like you say, it's the backbone of this hobby. So I thought it was a pretty good subject to cover.
It is because the clubs, if people are new to metal detecting, the club is the best place to go because you'll be around people. And you know this too, Howard. There's experts in every club on just about every subject.
Absolutely. Just had somebody pop up a minute ago that has his own YouTube channel, which is Rob, Florida Thunder. Yeah, Rob was a member for many, many years, and he does fantastic. There he is right there. He's got a great YouTube channel if you want to learn about metal detecting and how to do it right. He does a lot of door knocking and digs up lawns, but he digs them up in such a way that you're not going to ever know he was there.
Yes, and he has it was a gold. I think it was a gold watch fob that I took a picture of it, and it was from the 1890s, I believe. I can't remember exactly. It might have been a Masonic fob, and it was made out of gold. So awesome find for sure. Well, it looks like our hour is just about going, Jeff.
It is indeed. It flies, doesn't it? It flies.
It sure does.
Well, thanks again, guys, for inviting me on your show. I appreciate it.
Yes, and if anybody's in the Tampa Bay area, it's a good club to check out. Suncoast Research and Recovery Club. Just Google it or come to the next meeting, which would be the fourth Monday night, which would be the 25th. So
that's right. My phone number is right on the screen up there. If they want to call me up, feel free to call. If I don't answer, leave a message, and I will call you back.
All righty. Well, thank you, Howard. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you to our many members for being on here. And if you have any questions on metal detecting clubs, I'll forward you on to Howard, or you can ask me for sure.
Sure can. And now next week, it's going to be a really big show because it is Christmas shopping at Myers Metal Detectors. Now, as you know, Christmas is coming and it's going to be here before you know it. And we're going to have a show loaded. We're going to show you stuff in the shop. We're going to tell you how much it is, how soon you can get it. So just be ready because there's something on there that you're going to want. You may not even know you want it. And if you have gift ideas, and Phil's going to take you all around the shop because there's a lot of smalls that make great stocking stuffers. It doesn't have to be a detector, although it should be, but there's a lot of smalls and all kinds of good stuff for that special detectorist in your life for Christmas. So it's going to be Christmas shopping at Myers Metal Detectors next week.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have fun. So I want to thank everybody and for all the kind words when I've been gone. At least one or two people miss me. That makes me feel good.
Everybody misses me.
Excuse me, but Phil and Big Poppy did exceptional. So We're gonna well next week too. Big Poppy's going to be with us, so
Yeah, we'll have to make sure we get them on here for sure.
so there may be a couple of sausage given
There you
away. You never know. So we will see everybody next week. And thank you for watching. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Jocelyn. Thanks, Howard. Always a great time to spend with you. Happy hunting, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
And
Happy
dig
hunting.
deeper.
Happy hunting and dig deeper for sure. We'll see you guys.